CXC Time presents Isometric Projection. Today we'll be looking at this object here. It's part of an engine. Why did I select this? This has in it the isometric circle that I explained in my last tutorial. So that's what I want here, right here along this, some circles there, right here, which are the same circles. And it has in some straight lines. So it's a good mixture to practice on. Let's put it that way. It has in the curves and then it has in some straight edges. Let's analyze this and see how we are going to draw this. Because the first thing when I'm creating isometric drawings, I like to create an isometric box first before I try tackling the actual drawing. So in creating this box, what do I need now? I know that from this point here up to here is 114 millimeters, and then I'm just going to add 32 because the radius here is 32, so that means the radius at this point is also 32. So I'm going to, that means add on 32, we're going to add on 32 there, and let's see what that gives us. So I'm going for my calculator. 114 plus 232s are 64. So that's going to be 178. That's our distance. And let's go now and go up and see how much do we go up by. Well, we know we go up by 19 so far. And then we add 45, which is back here. So it's 19 plus 45. I got the 19 from here, and I got the 45 from back here. So let's clear this and let's add this and see. So first let's record this number, 178 there. Let's clear over here and let's add 19 plus 45 and we get a total of 64. So we're going up some distance, 64. Let's put a text there and call that 64. Okay, so it's going to help us because if we can just draw the isometric box first, it actually helps us to create the shape. So last thing we need to know, how wide is this box? And right here I have all that I need to know. It is 64. I could have also gotten that from here. The radius is 32, because if the radius means when I open my compass to here, it's going to be 32, and likewise when I open my compass to this point, it's also going to be 32. So 32 plus 32, we get 64. So over here is going to be 64, and I'm just going to draw down there, connect that. Go down there, connect that. So this is what I generally do before I actually start drawing. I actually break down my drawing, put it into a box, understand my drawing first, and then I work from within the box. So I'm going to be drawing a rectangle, which is going to be 178 by 64 to create the face. And then I'm going to be extruding that 64 millimeters deep. So let's go over to AutoCAD now. So before I do this, I'm just going to clear this drawing. Remember those numbers. Those numbers are fairly easy to remember. 178, 64 twice. Okay, good. Let's turn on our isometric mode. You'll find the isometric mode here. It's called isometric drafting. I'm going to turn that on, and I'm going to turn that on to my right side because I want to draw my right side first. Guys, if you can't find your isometric mode icon on your screen, you can always type the word ISO and it will come up ISO drafting, ISO draft, and that's how you can actually turn on these same options that I've just turned on by using this arrow. Okay, so let's get straight into this now. I'm I'm going to make sure I'm on my construction there first before I go any further. And then, yeah, I'm all ready to go now. 178 is my length. And I go up 64, come back 178, and down 64. Okay, so now that I've created this, I'm going to move it because I think that this is going to be too close. Yeah, that looks good there. And one thing I can do is I can just set this back up, draw a line. Oh yeah, I need to change my direction now. So I'm going to go over to left, draw a line that says 64. And what I'm going to do is to make my life easier, just copy this over to that point there. Oh man, I'm missing today. CO for copy. Grab it here by this point and shift it over to that point. And that's how we get our box. So this is our box, and I'm going to remove the lines that we're not going to be able to see because of the hidden detail, right? And that's our box to start things off. So far, so good. I hope everyone is able to follow how I've gotten that. Okay, so what's the next thing I'm going to do? All right, let me just go over here, grab my pencil, and let me start drawing. I'm going to work on this point here. I'm going to come up 19. So I'm going to come up 19 from my baseline. So this is my baseline here. I'm going to go up 19. So let me get back over here. Let me draw 19, 9, up. And I'm going to keep, guys, you'll see me keep switching between the left, the right, and the top view as I'm drawing. So sometimes I might not actually remember to tell you to switch. So just pay close attention. I'll try to remember. Okay, so that's my 19 there. Again, I need to switch the side now to the left. And that's my 19 there. So I've put in my 19 line all around, so I know where that is. Okay, what I need to do now, I want to start putting in my circles. I am going to do the circles on the outside as a separate item and then attach them to the rectangle here. So what information do I need to know to drawing my circles? I need to know this number here, radius 32. Radius 32. So when an isometric drawing is given and you see radius 32, how do we take this information and get the circle that you desire from just one piece of information, radius 32? Well, we need to create a square that is going to be 64 millimeters on each side. How did I know that? Okay, let me explain this. Let me just go over to a different color. So I'm going to use green. This is my axis for my circle right here. From here to this point is 32. And from here to this next point is also 32. So the diameter of this circle is 64. Why is the diameter important? Because if we were to draw an isometric box, right, the circle would be fitting in. The circle would be fitting into some isometric box, right? Which is somewhere around here, and it would be like that, just for argument's sake. And the box would be 64 by 64 by 64 by 64. All over the face of the square needs to be 64 millimeters if the radius is 32. So if they give you the radius, you actually find the diameter of the circle and create the box using the diameter's measurements. Okay, so let's come over here and do that. So I'm going to create a box out here, which is 64 by I'm going to need to switch over to my top. Okay, 64 by 64 by 64 right here. Okay, so I've gotten that pretty easy. Now I'm going to divide these faces. And guys, I'm not going to be really explaining this part in depth because I made a tutorial about this, how to create an isometric circle. So I suggest you guys check the tutorial, how to create the isometric circle, so that you will be able to understand that better. I'm just going to be moving through this part at this moment now, assuming that you've watched the fundamental tutorial before watching this. So this is my longest diagonal from this point here to this corner point. And what do I do now? I now come from this point here, this below point, my lowest point, to my midpoint here, and I go from this corner point to this midpoint here. So I've created my grid. Next thing that I need to do is I am going to switch over my layers because I want to be on my text layer. I want to place some points in where I'm going to be using. So I'm going to place a point there, 2 points on the inside of the square and 2 points on the outside of the square. Now these points aren't just any random points. These points have been calculated, and you will see when I start to draw my circle now. So I'm going to switch back over to my construction layer, and I'm going to proceed to draw my circle. So I open a circle, come to this boundary point here, open a circle up there, open a circle here, open a circle there. So I've gotten my face. Now it's time for us to trim. Trimming the inside bits down, and the points that you can't trim, it's best to just delete when you're finished. So that's my isometric circle done. And the good thing about this circle, if we come back over to our drawing and let's look at this, we can realize that we've just done a whole heap of work by just doing that one circle. Because this one circle appears here, right here, it appears here, and there. So these are the two, and then it appears down here also. Yeah, all right, down there. All right, I think I can clear this now, because so that one circle that I just created would be able to be copied 3 times or placed 3 places, and so that's one piece of work just done. Now let's create the second circle. While we're creating circles at this point, and they tell us 22 drill. Now what would I do with that information? Well, we can assume 22 is the radius, or we can assume 22 is the diameter. That's how we have to approach this. So looking at this and looking at the proportion, I would say 22 is the diameter. So that means we build this circle at 22 millimeters. We don't have to do any calculations. We don't have to add 22 twice or anything. So I'm just going to create my square. That's my square there, and I'm going to do the same thing that I did in the previous example. Divide the square into 4 pieces. Check. Find the longest diagonal and draw a line through the longest diagonal points. And the points that weren't used yet, which are this point down here at the bottom, attach a line to the midpoint up here, and from this to that point. So now I can see for circle, open to there, see for circle, open to there. Again, guys, I'm going through this pretty quick because I made a tutorial explaining in full detail how to create the isometric circle. So if you want a full explanation of how to create the isometric circle, my advice is to check out that tutorial, and I would put the link in the description so that you can check it out. So now I've finished my 2 circles and I feel pretty smart about myself. So now let us insert these circles now, and then everything else should be easy from here. Okay, cool. What do I need? I need this line here to help me. And do I need a line back there? Yeah, I think so. So I'm just going to select that. Good. So at this point, I need to find where my center is. And when I say center, what do I mean? This point here. I need to find that point there. That point there. How do I find that? Well, we know the whole thing, the length from here to here is 178. So what I need to do is I need to step in 32. So 32 is about here. Yeah. So how am I going to find that now? I'm just going to draw 32. I'm going to go over on another layer. I'm going to go on my outline layer so that as I'm drawing over on my construction layer, you guys will be able to see where the 32 mark is. Right there. That's my 32. And I just bring it across. So you can see here's my 32. Let me just clear my drawing now. Good. You can see this is the line I use to indicate where 32 is. Now I'm going to come and draw a line from my midpoint here through to my midpoint at the end of my rectangle. And I'm going to find my 32 down here also coming from this corner. So I'm going to come in 32 by drawing a line. And yeah, so I know where my axes points are. Let me place a point there so that I would always be able to find them. I'm going to go to my text there. That's a point that goes there. And that's a point that goes there. Good, perfect. I can actually put these lines now in my construction because they kind of serve the purpose. Let's put them in construction. Let's remove these because we no longer need it. So what am I going to do next? I'm now going to put this circle into my outline layer. That's what I'm going to do. So the circle goes into outline, and I'm going to do the same thing with this smaller circle here. I'm going to just transfer from construction layer to outline layer. Cool. Now I'm going to move this big circle to this axis point here and also make a copy back here. So I'm going to be moving the circle from the middle to here. So let's do that. Select all the curves that make up the circle. CO to copy. That's a command. Midpoint, snap there, grab it by its midpoint, and snap it in here at the midpoint there. Then snap it in at that midpoint there. So my 2 circles are in. Yay, feeling pretty smart about that. Like I said, a whole heap of work done by just being able to insert those. And now I'm going to place my bottom circle in. What do I mean? I mean this circle around here. Yeah, I'm going to put that in, and then this one also. Okay, so let's do that now. So the first thing I need to do is I'm going to select my circles. To select multiple things, I hold down my shift button while clicking. Okay, good. So I'm going to move it from this corner point here. I'm going to copy it actually, CO to copy, and then I'm going to snap here as my base point and then just bring it down here. Yeah, good. That's done. That's done. Now this is where the fun begins. I now need to trim the circle. Oh, what I can do is I can actually put in the smaller circle at the same time too. So I'm going to select the smaller circle, select all four arcs that make the circle, copy it, click here as my specified base point, and then snap it in right here. That's one, and then snap it in right here. That's two. So my circles are in. Now I need to trim them, and I need to create the other part of the shape. What should I do? What should I do first? I think I am going to trim these. So in order for me to trim these properly, I'm going to turn off my construction there. So I'm going to go over onto my outline there and turn off my construction there. Good. So I can see these things now, and now I'm going to trim my circles. You won't be able to see that part of the circle. Not that, not that, not that. Now you won't be able to see in here, in there, in there. Alright, so now it's time for me to draw my tangent lines to connect the bottom circle to the top circle. So I'm going to go on either isoplane left or right. You can select either one because option left and right allows you to draw vertically. That's the good thing. So it's my tangent there. And I need to create a tangent line over here. And tangent. The symbol there, and it's in tangent. So I'm good to go. And just remove other lines now. I need. So I'm going to trim it again because I've now inserted my tangent line, and there are some lines that need to go. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So that looks good so far. This line definitely goes. That goes, but you're not going to see that. Okay. All right. Let's turn back on our construction there and see what we have here so far. All right. Cool. Pretty good. Now, what we need to do is we need to start tackling this thing here. You need to come up. You need to tackle this part now. Yeah. How are we going to tackle this? Well, you can see that this fits dead in the middle of this whole object. So we need to find our midpoint, and from our midpoint, we know that this whole thing is 64. So we find a midpoint somewhere along here, and then we offset to the right 32, and then to the left 32. That's what we do, so that we can locate the boundaries. So I'm going to do that now. Let me just clear this drawing, and I'm back here with you guys, back in AutoCAD mode. All right, so let's find the midpoint. L for midpoint, L for line, sorry. This is the midpoint here. And I come up to that midpoint there. Good. So now I'm going to draw across on this face. I'm going to go a distance of 32. And I'm going to bring 32 out. Then that's 64. Yep. Start from the midpoint again. Go to the left, 32. And come out to that. And 64. Cool. So now I can actually come down. Yeah. Right, I need to switch the side and the left to go down. And I'm going to go down to the hitch there. And I'm going to bring this point down also to the hitch there. It's pretty confusing at this stage, but just bear with me and you should understand this So what am I going to do to make this slightly easier? I'm going to transfer these midpoints here that I use and put them on a different layer. Let's put them on center. Yeah. So first thing, get rid of those. So those are the midpoints that I use to locate the axis of the circle. Those on the center layer. That takes care of that. And now, do I need this line back here anymore? No, I don't need that. That can go. I need a line from here that comes down to here. I'm going to trim that, and I need a line that goes across to there. Yeah, so that circle needs to be trimmed, definitely. And something interesting is happening here. We need to know how much to go in. So this is what I mean. How much do we go in by here? Because I've already gotten this so far. We've already gotten this face. We've already gotten that. And I pull down there. And I pull down there. Yep, I've gotten that in already. So what I need to know, I need to find out in here. I need to find out that distance so that I can get that length. That's what I'm going to be searching for now. All right, so let's clear that. Let's get to work. Let's get to work. So the distance there is 13. I hope you guys at home saw it. 13 right there, between there to there and there to there is 13. So it's the same. Let's put that in now. Come here at this point, and let me switch over my ISO plane to top. And 1, 3, 13 is the distance. And then I'm going to go back in. I'm going to trim that later on, come to this corner, and come up 13 distance, and then send this line all the way back there. Yeah. And again, I need to come from here to the right. 13 is the distance. Yep. So, all right. So now we're taking some shape here now. I need to come down. So I need to switch over from ISO plane top to left. And just bring this down. And interesting, down here at the bottom is also 13. Let me just highlight that down there. So the distance between here to there is 13, whereas up here and up there, that's 19. So there's a slight difference. This is getting a bit confusing. So what I'm going to do is just start trimming this now so that I don't lose anyone at home. Okay, good. So let's trim. Ah, did I miss this area in here? Not going to see that, Raymond. Like that. Again, areas that I can't trim, I'm just going to delete. So far, so good. So far, so good. Now, let's turn back on our construction layer and continue working. So the first thing I notice is that I need a line that connects. I need a line from this point here over to the tangent. Perfect. I also need a line above here over to there. Perfect. This goes up. Delete. Right. I need to come up 13. Yes. So I need to switch over to ISO plane left and draw a line, alpha line as usual, go up 1, 3. I don't think I did that properly. 1, 3. At that point, yes, switch the mode over to ISO top and just click over like that. Yeah, so now it's time for another trim. So I'm going to turn off the construction there at this moment, and I think we should be able to trim. So guys, this thing is a series of trimming, yes, turning back on the construction there, looking again, trimming, turning back off your construction there, and so forth. Alright, so it's a lot of back and forth. Sometimes another tool you can use is fillet. Like I'm going to fillet this junction to that junction and this junction to that junction. So to clean up some corners, I'm just going to use my fillet tool. Now I'm going to delete these lines that I don't need. Okay. So what's missing? Let's clear the drawing and look at things that need to be added at this point, and let's draw them in. What's missing? This line needs to go in. That's really easy. I need to attach this line here to the circle, make a tangent there. I need to delete this line here. Yeah, that line needs to go. Yeah, that goat needs to go, and these two lines need to put in. Okay, so let's clear the drawing and let's get to work. First, put in this line. That looks good. Second, put in this line here, put in this corner. To there it says tangent. Nice, nice, nice. Let's delete this. Not needed. Sorry. No line. Delete that curve. And I think I'm finished. Yeah. This is what it is. This is the final product. Let me just turn back on my construction there. So to make sure that I'm within my box like I started off. Yeah, so this is the box here that I started with. Again, the box was 178 millimeters. Let me just put that on that dimension for you guys there that might be following. Okay, right. I need to use a line dimension. So where would I find that? A line. And in the dimension mode, go to align. Let me just switch over to my dimension there. And now I'm going to start. So my box I started off with is 178 by 64, and the height is 64 also. So let me just remove this drawing and look at this thing's totality, maximize the screen, and we can look at this at the end. And this is the final creation here, or the final construction. You just do that, and you just flash this back up. So this brings us to the end of our tutorial. Guys, I hope that you at home understood. And like I said, I do have a tutorial explaining how to create the isometric circle. Check that, that's in the description. If you're having problems creating your isometric circles, or even if you're having problems understanding isometric projection. If you like this video, you can share it with others. You can like, subscribe, and stay tuned until I give you another tutorial. And that is it for me. I'm out. Thanks for watching, guys.